Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Avid Rider. Today I'm going to be talking about the Suzuki V-Strom, the DL 650A. Okay, so this is the bike, and most of you who are aware of what the V-Stroms are, they're very reliable, sports touring, slightly off-road motorcycles, and the engines of these bikes are the true gem. These engines will easily last you anywhere between 100,000 miles to 150,000 miles, maintenance free. All you have to do is make sure that all the fluids are taken care of, they are changed frequently. You change your oil and filter, and the bike will take care of you and will keep running for 100,000 kilometers problem free. Okay, so what do I think about this bike? Now, I have owned this bike for about a year now, and there are a few things that I really like about the bike, and there are certain things that I don't like. I would say I would have wanted a little more. It's not that I don't like it, it's just that the bike doesn't do what I want to do, and that is going really, really fast. So, if you are coming off from motorcycles which go really fast, like 1000 cc's and the 600 super sports, then this bike will leave a lot to be desired. Don't get me wrong, this bike can go fast, but it is not a super sport fast. So the official time, I haven't measured it, but 0 to 100 for this bike is 3.2 seconds. So that is still faster than any car. So that is fine, but the way this bike delivers the power is very linear and very smooth. So it won't go as fast as a super sport, and you shouldn't expect it to go super sport. But where this bike shines is in its comfort. That's Axel. Hello, Axel. And the cost of keeping and running this bike. So if we talk about fuel efficiency, this bike is very fuel efficient. It will go anywhere between 4.5 to 5.5 liter per 100 kilometers, or 20 kilometers per liter. So it's highly fuel efficient. So once you fill up the tank, if you use it as a commuter, you won't need to refuel the bike frequently, which is a really good thing. It's got plenty of storage with this GV top box. And the other thing which I like about the bike is how easy it is to maintain and how cheap it is. For example, the most important thing that any motorcyclist will know is changing the oil of the bike, which you have to do every 5 to 6,000 kilometers, or every 6 months, whichever is early. All you have to do is take out this belly pan. There's a filter right behind it, which is kind of hard to see. There it is. You have to use a filter wrench, a filter cup wrench. You can take the filter out. You can get a replacement filter for about 20 bucks here in Australia, and the oil for about $30, I would say, and you're good to go. So under $50 you can pretty much do the basic maintenance of the bike and just keep the bike running. Everything else is very easy on this bike. Now, in terms of other factors, what I think about this bike is the looks. Now, there are 3 iterations of this V-Strom. Um, the first generation V-Stroms have a very flat looking panels, and they kind of look like they've just been plastered together, and there is no sense of real aesthetic appeal to that bike. This is the second generation, and then the third generation are the newer models since 2017, correct me if I'm wrong, which have that beak look from the Dakar Rally Suzuki bikes. But according to me, this curvy V-Strom is the best looking V-Strom that they've ever made so far. I really like the looks and the sharp lines, the sharp angular lines rather, of this bike, and it's just gorgeously sculpted, and I really like the way this bike looks. So in terms of looks, I would say this bike deserves a 7 out of 10. Now, the second form is desirability. In terms of desirability, I would say this bike also deserves a 7 out of 10. It is very, very comfortable. As you can see, the seats are highly padded and they're very comfortable. The seating position is upright and straight, but not like a lounge chair. It is very nice. You can go hours on this bike without feeling any fatigue, and it's perfect for 2-up as well. You can buy some racks which you can place here, and can carry soft luggage or hard luggage depending on your preference, and you can just do sports touring days on end with this bike. Now, in terms of power and torque, the engine is very, very torquey, and it's definitely got a lot of grunt, and I would give it 7.5 out of 10. And in acceleration, Axel just wants attention. Although this bike goes 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds, the way it delivers the power is very different to a super sport. Forgive me for comparing it to super sport constantly, but I used to ride GSXRs and BMW 1000 RR, so I can't help but compare it to a super sports, and the super sports acceleration is the benchmark that I use. Acceleration wise, I would give it 6 out of 10. It goes fast, but there is no real thrill or excitement the way it delivers power. But this bike has a lot of character, and in terms of character, I will give it 6.5 out of 10. Now, if you're a commuter or a sports tourer, the most important thing you'll be looking for is the bike's ability to carry a pillion, luggage, and give you the comfort. And that's where this bike is a superstar. I've ridden a few nakeds and super sports and sports tours, and I think this is the most comfortable bike that I've ever ridden. And in terms of comfort, I will give it 9.5 out of 10. The handlebars are upright. I'm about 5'10", and I feel my hands are just slightly stretched forward, but it's not uncomfortable. It's still very nice. It's still very comfortable, and I think that's the most important selling point of this bike, is its comfort. And like I've already mentioned about the spares, the fuel efficiency, and the maintenance, you can pretty much do maintenance of this bike at home if you have the skills. Otherwise, you can take it to a workshop, and even if you take it to a workshop, it won't break the bank. You can easily spend just a few $100s every 6 months to a year and keep this bike running as good as new, as long as you want. In terms of insurance here in Australia, even though I have been riding bikes since last 15 years, but I had to convert my international license to an Australian license, and for that reason I am considered an inexperienced rider. And even with that, I can insure this bike comprehensive just for $23 per month, which is absolutely dirt cheap for this bike. And I'm really happy with the insurance cost, and the overall cost to keep this bike running and keep it in your garage is very low. And that is the selling point of this bike, according to me, is how inexpensive it is to maintain and keep it running. And it also delivers its value by munching miles on the highway and just keep running. And that's where I think this bike shines. Should you buy this bike? Well, that depends on what you intend to do with it. So if you want a bike which would commute, still give you excitement, and at the same time is very, very practical, then definitely go for this bike. But if you're coming from a super sport and you want a bike which gives you the thrill and excitement, then this bike is definitely not for you, because like I said, the way it delivers the power is very smooth and very linear, so you won't feel that thrill part to this ride. Okay. And yeah, overall I would highly recommend this bike. It's a really good bike, very, very easy to maintain, and you can find one from $4,000 here in Australia, a used one. And I'm just gonna sorry, I'm just going to start at the bike and give you guys a peek of how it sounds. Forgive me, I'm trying to do this with one hand. And now we've finished. And this is how this bike sounds. Very, very smooth engine. That's the engine. Yeah, overall it's a very good bike. And if commuting and daily practicality with some sort of excitement is your criteria, then you should definitely go and test ride one of these bikes at your local dealer, and definitely go for one. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And this has been Avid Rider. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing the channel, and yeah, keep safe on the road. Bye.